and welcome to Model Kit Stuff, and in this video we're going to have a first impressions look at the Victory Models 6th-rate Swan class sloop HMS Fly as she was in 1776. Now this is a wooden model kit, not a plastic model kit, and it's 1/64 scale, and a total length to the end of the bowsprit is 81 centimetres, so just under a metre long. So I'll make my apologies now. This is just too big a kit to do on the bench with my camera on its tripod, so I'm hand holding it. I'll do my best to keep the noise down and the camera shake down, but you will just have to bear with me a little bit. Okay, so what you get in the kit is everything you need to build the model, as you can see it here, with the exception of the base, which is not included. So Victory Models, for those that maybe don't know, is a British manufacturer of wooden model ship kits who use Amati, the Italian manufacturer, to produce their kits for them. They are my second favourite wooden ship manufacturer, and in my top three all-time model kit companies. Craft being my favourite and Amati being my third place one. The reason why Victory are my second favourite is the quality of the parts is usually outstanding, but the instructions aren't quite as clear and comprehensive as Craft. Right, let's take a look what you get inside the box. So the first bag has all the laser cut sheet wood. Let's have a dig into that. So the first sheet is laser cut MDF, and what we have is we have the middle deck, have the keel, and then we have parts for the building stand. So you can convert these quite into quite a nice stand in its own right. These bits here are the blocks that will go in at the bow to make bow formers, and there's more of those here, and I'm guessing just under a centimetre thick. Second sheet is all the ribs and some of the supports there for the upper deck section, poop deck area, and that looks like the transom. Again, it's the same MDF or fiberboard, one of the two, and the same thickness, 6 or 7 millimeters, I'm guessing. Next sheet out is much thinner, and this is the upper deck. So this will be put in place and acts as a substrate for the deck planking. Again, laser cut, all looks very nice. Single sheet of ply. Next sheet is poop and foredecks. Same thickness of ply, I'm guessing about 3 millimeters. And then we look like we have some bulkhead formers there as well. And then we have the gun pattern bulkheads. So this basically forms the template for your cannon ports. The next sheet out looks like 3 millimeter walnut ply. And we've got parts there for ship's compass, spotting tops, porthole covers, various parts of the mast rigging, and parts for the ship's hull. No issues, nice and crisply laser cut, plenty of space, plenty of spare material. Another sheet of walnut ply, same thickness, has the transom, stern gallery. These look like parts on the bulwark tops or spotting tops. These will probably be the mast bases, mast grill. We've got some 5mm walnut. This is not ply, this is solid. So we've got the prow, keel, rudder, looks like a deck beam. We've got some of the bits there for the masts. We have what looks like another solid walnut sheet, 3mm, and there's various parts on there. Looks like the anchor T, got swivel gun posts, timber heads. Now we have a bundle of dowel, combination there of walnut and cherry and possibly some box there maybe. All good quality materials. These will all be mainly for the masts and yards. So then we have a bundle that says hull planking. So this looks like walnuts, that's lovely. That it gives you the option then, if you don't want to paint it, you can varnish up the natural wood. There's a lovely selection of colours in there, so that will look quite stunning. Probably the way I'm going to go, I would think. Really nice. Next we have an assorted bundle. Walnut, cherry, box, various different lengths, various different sizes. So that'll be for deck fittings, bow fittings, so on and so forth, window frames. Relatively small bundle, but there's quite a lot of length in it, so they've got to be 1/2 metre, a lot of these, so plenty of material, I'm guessing. Next we've got another hull planking bundle, so this will be for the first planking that takes a lot of shaping and forming, so that's in box, but I'm guessing 5mm by 2mm. It's even though it's for the first layer of planking and won't be seen, it's nicely sawn, it's not rough at all. So yeah, quite happy with that. That's good quality timber. And the final bundle is described as deck planking, and that looks to be 3mm by 1/2mm. Not quite sure of the material, I haven't checked the instructions, so I'm not 100% sure what that is. But yeah, it looks to be good quality material anyway, and will look nice under stain, or will look nice under a bit of varnish, a bit of a clear coat. That should look good. There is actually a huge amount of brass included in this kit. I don't think I've seen quite so much etched parts in a wooden ship kit. Let's take a closer look. So we have the hull decorations, that's really nice. That'll be easy to paint up and stick on. And as we drop down, I'm not sure what some of these parts are, but we've got there, these bits that we're looking at will be for the rudder assembly. And we've got various hooks, more decoration. They look like swivel gun mounts. Obviously gallery window frames and decoration. Parts for the yard arms. Bits there for the yard arms to swivel, more hooks. A lot of the rigging will be based on hooks. This looks like fastenings for the rigging. So yeah, very nice. All well formed, good thick material. I'm going to reckon that's 1.5 millimeters thick, maybe 1 millimeter thick. Okay, if we look down here, we've got more decoration. We've got those will go on top of the bulkheads. I'm guessing they're for the netting, for the hammock netting. Look like railing loops. I'm not quite sure exactly what they are. I'm sure all will become clear. Then we've got, alright, parts for the cannons. They might have come out of my extras set, so I do have an upgrade set for this, which I've put in the box, so they might have come with the upgrade set, and I'll explain that in a minute. Then we've got a decorated brass strip, and then we've got anchors, oars. The actual oars are nice rather than having to make them out of wood. Boat hooks, so these look like fittings for the ship's boats maybe. More railing, not quite sure what all that's for. And then more parts for the rigging and masts and yards. Then we've got a box full of rigging thread. So standard rigging, 4 rolls, then a number of different diameters of running rigging, anchor rope, some thicker rope there. So lots and lots of thread. Okay, then we've got one of 2 trays of smaller parts. So in here we've got the figurehead, which is white metal. That seems to be very nicely cast. Some more white metal parts there. Look like for a gun maybe. And a bit of dowel, side galleries, copper strip, more dowel. Quite a bit of copper strip in there. We've got some eye loops, and then we've got cannons and their trucks, which are cast bronze. Now the cannons look okay. I'm not sure I'd keep them bronze. I'd probably paint them. I personally didn't like the look of the carriages, even painted up. They look a bit chunky, so I did buy the upgrade set, which replaces all these with wood, and we'll have a look at that in a second. And we've got brass wire, more brass wire, and some pins for the hull planking process. And we've got swivel guns, a lot of swivel guns. She was quite well armoured for 6 or 8. And then we've got eye pins, ship's bell, ship's wheel. So that's the first tray. And then this last tray, we've got the wooden components. So we've got the components there to make the various ladders. These look nice and cleanly cut, and if I just, yeah, they're aligned, so they're good quality. I've certainly seen a lot worse ladders than that. We've got some heart blocks and some balustrades. violin blocks, cleats, double blocks, grating material, again really nice and cleanly cut that. There's going to be no issues assembling that. That's really nice. Then we've got smaller double blocks. The eyes for the yards to allow them to roll around the mast. Anchor. Looks like we've got 4 anchors in there. Then we've got some white metal decoration for the stern, which looks very nicely detailed and cast. Then we've got single blocks, 2 different sizes. And then we've got the blocks that we're going to need for all the other bits and pieces of rigging there. So yeah, that all looks really high quality, as I would expect from Amati Victory models. So that's it for the parts that come with the kit. As I said, I then got an upgrade set, so let's have a look at that. The upgrade set gave me primarily the ability to replace the Canon trucks with the carriages, I should say, and the trucks with solid wood. So I've got the option there of leaving them in the natural wood or painting them up. I probably would like to leave them in the natural wood if I could. The main thing is they look better to scale because they're thinner and not chunky like the cast ones. The set comes with the rigging thread that you need for the cannons, because the cast ones are not rigged, and the rigging blocks that you'll need. And I'm fairly sure this came with it as well, which is you've got the coat of arms and you've got the fuse for each one of the cannons. The set also contains some flags which will be in the instructions somewhere, so we'll dig those out in a minute, and a ship's boat. So you've got a cast metal boat and tiller, and then you've got some wood strip to build up the slats and the running strips and bits on it, and once painted up that'll look really nice. So I would recommend, if you buy into Fly, getting the upgrade set. It'll make a big difference because these are open on the deck, so it'll make a big difference to the finished look of the ship. Right then, let's take a look at the plans. So the instructions come dual instructions, Italian and English. So at the start we have an introduction into the instructions, the making a start steps. They have a recommended tool list, and then some thoughts on paint, stains and adhesives. Then they take you through hull construction, first planking, main whale positions, second planking, deck, inner and bulwark planking. So that's basically the basic hull and deck planked up. Then we have inner planking, capping rails and the deck fittings, handrails and cat head assembly, upper rail and stern fascia, rudder assembly, painting the hull below the waterline, the channels, deck fittings, mast and bowsprits, tells you the dowel that you need, bowsprit construction, mast construction, yards construction, rigging. I mean, we've got what, half a dozen paragraphs on rigging. It's probably about 6 months worth of work on the rigging, depending on how much time you've got for it. Rat lines, stays, running rigging, and then the parts list, and it lists 292 different parts, some of which have many multiples, like copper eyelet has 120 of those, brass pins, there's 400 of those. So quite a decent part count, quite a comprehensive set of materials to get a very accurate kit. So that's our basic instructions. Obviously this is a wooden kit, so we have a lot of plans that accompany that, and we'll take a look at those now. So first up I've got the fittings pack drawing. So this is for the wooden cannons. I can see here what I thought were railing guys are actually for the foot ropes. So they go underneath the yards so that the ropes can go through. So we'll have to drill holes for each one of those individual pieces of etch. There's construction steps there for the ends of the yards so that other yards can extend. They're recommending there making the straps out of black cartridge paper, which is not unusual in wooden ships these days. And then the second one, construction of the anchor, deck layout, shows you how to position the ship's boat, suggested paint scheme for the oars, hammock cranes as we saw, and where to put them. So yeah, okay. Then we have how to construct the dead eyes, and how to do the copper plating. Now, just like the wooden gun carriages, the copper plating is a separate pack that I've not bought into. I'll do the white hull, I think. I have done copper plated hulls before. It's quite a therapeutic but very, very time consuming job, so I didn't fancy it this time. Some instructions on the casting, placing the casting for the stern. So now we have the construction manual, which shows you from the start the basic construction there. So that's the rib and the frames, keel going on. Talks to you about sanding the ribs into shape. Then we've got the planking, grating, capstan, pump, various bits that go on this lower deck and will be visible, the beams. So we've got quite a bit of the internal structure put together before we start putting in the planking. So we're only first planking is only for the bottom 2/3 or so of the hull, because we've got the this piece of plywood here with the gun ports in, which is used instead of planking, which saves a lot of time having to mark out and cut the gun ports. And then what have we got? Then we've got first planking, fairly standard drawings. Removing the tops of the ribs before planking the deck and the inside of the bulwark. I thought they were part of the bulwark templates, but actually they're for these deck step downs where the ladders go. And then you've got the various rails and details. finishing the pump mechanism and the stern. These are the flags. So the material self-adhesive flags. There are 12 A3 plan sheets. This first one just gives you the numbers for all the various plywood parts for the basic frame to build the hull and the display base, the stand or building. The second sheet is more part identification, has all the numbers on that you'll need that are called out in the instruction description. That makes it really easy to identify. The drawings are to scale, 1/64 scale, so the parts will be exactly the same size as on the sheet. It's more part identification, including the castings, so everything gets given a number for reference. So sheet 4 is all the hull decoration, and again it's to scale, so everything is full size. So you get an idea of the size of the hull. And it makes it really easy when you want to measure positions of things. So you can measure exactly the position of the letter in Fly, for example, and make sure that you've got everything perfect. Sheet 5, again, all to scale, deals with deck fittings, skylight, binnacle assembly, capstan, chimney, and all of their positions. We can also see cleat positions in there. Some rigging instruction there, assembly of the ship's wheel, positions of some of the deck decorations, ship's bell. Sheet 6, again 1/64 scale, deals mainly with the construction of the channels and the cannon port lids. And also the rudder. Okay, sheet 7 deals with mast construction, and it gives you nice little details like how to tie off some of the rope work. Interestingly, it doesn't have a scale on this, but I would expect it to be correct to scale. Have to check that, of course. They talk about sanding the masts into shape and using planes and the like. We'll just we'll do that on a machine, I think. Sheet 8 is main and mizzen mast, and this does say 1/64 scale. I'm fairly sure the other one was as well. But it gives you all the various different positions, so you can basically, once you've put your masts through the lathe and got them to the right diameters, you can put them on top of this, mark out all your various points. So really nice clear set of plans there, giving you all your dimensions. Really lovely. Sheet 9, yard assembly. Again, oh yeah, it does shout out the scale this time. So yeah, all to scale. More work in the yards than the masts. But all the rope positions. Doesn't look much when you look at it on the plans, but there's weeks and weeks and weeks of work here. Sheet 10. So this is dealing with the shrouds primarily, shroud positions. all correctly done as it would have been done in the period, all correctly rigged. Got the cranes there for lifting the ship's boat, so you've always got the option of suspending that if you wish. Sheet 11 is rigging positions. This is not to scale. It's mainly to deal with the rigging of the yards and the masts. I think fixed rigging by the looks of it. No, some of it's running. No, it's running rigging as well. Combination, I think. Yeah. Okay, and the last sheet, sheet number 12. Again, to scale. Has more rigging positions. So it points out where the threads should be located on the deck and then shows you the directions of them and where they attach on the various yards and masts. So you've got a full set of fixed and running rigging as you would have been at the time. And when we looked at that box cover picture, there's a lot of rigging on her. And that is the box contents done. Okay, so first impressions of Victory Models HMS Fly. It's a beautiful, beautiful kit. The timber included is very good quality, well cut. There will be no issues there. The quality of the castings looks very, very good. The amount of photo etch is going to make the detail really easy to put in place. The instructions, from what I've seen and read of them, look very, very clear, a bit beyond the basic, and the plans are also very well laid out and clear to follow. It's not a beginner's kit by any stretch of the imagination. Having said that, if you've got a background in building models and you know your way around a technical drawing, or got an engineering background, or just technically minded, there's no reason why you couldn't tackle it. If you're a beginner and you're a youngster, then this absolutely isn't for you. You should have a look for a wooden model ship with a solid hull, which will make your life a lot easier. You can concentrate on deck fittings, masts and rigging. If you are never built a wooden ship before, but you've built plastic modelled ships before, then I would go and have a look at a Caldercraft kit, particularly the Schooner Pickle. It's a beautiful kit. It takes you through all the basic techniques you need. You've got a couple of masts, you've got 4 carronades, you've got a ship's bow, you've got copper tiles to put on it. You go through all the very basic things that you'll need on any wooden ship, and through best in class instructions. So absolutely that's the kit to go for if you've never built a model ship before and would like to have a go. But otherwise I would recommend this to anyone who's built wooden ships before. It's a beautiful kit. I think my question to you guys now that have been watching me build plastic stuff is, are you interested in seeing a wooden ship get built? I will start tackling this late spring when we can get out and do sanding outside. If you're interested in seeing this get built, then let me know in the comments below, and if there's an interest, we'll do it. Okay, thanks for looking in. Hope to see you all soon.